It's a beautiful day out here at Giants Ridge. We are on the putting green at the Legend Golf Course, and we're joined by John Kendall, who is our Director of Golf here at Giants Ridge, and we are going to talk about putting today. John, how important is it for golfers, amateur golfers, to practice their putting?
Well, it's very important. Biggest reason is most people, about 40% of their strokes are taken here on the putting green. So becoming a better putter is typically the best way for people to lower their score. If you just think about eliminating 3-putts, most people 3-putt 3, 4, 5 times around. If you can eliminate those, there's 3 to 5 shots off your score.
And what are some of the errors you see people typically make on the golf course in their putting game?
Well, there's a few errors that people make, and first thing I want to show you is about the setup. When we set up over a putt, we want to make sure that the plane of our forearms and the plane of the putter shaft are in line. Most people will set up with their hands very low, and they'll have 2 planes. They'll have a shallow putter shaft and a steep arm angle. What this does is when you start moving your shoulders with your hands in this position, putter will want to go outside and leave outside, which causes weak putts out to the right. What we want is to be in line with the putter shaft and our forearms. So you want this to be a straight line, and this is something that you can easily check at home in a full-length mirror, or have one of your playing partners check before you go out. So putter shaft, forearm in line, and that's where we set up. Once the putter starts moving, a lot of people, with the same thing with the full swing, everybody tries to play golf with their hands and their arms, and here on the putting green, it's really going to take its toll and cause a lot of bad things to happen. So once we get set up nice with our arms in the shaft on plane, I want all the motion to be provided by just turning of the shoulders. There's nothing that our hands and our wrists are going to do. They're going to be completely passive in this stroke. I don't want them rigid. I don't want them tight, but at the same time, I don't want any of this. I don't want any wrist movement in the stroke. What that'll do is it'll cause the club face to open, close, actually come into the ball at different points, so it'll be very hard to hit a solid putt. It'll be really hard to control your direction and your distance. So one drill that I do quite often to make sure that my shoulders are providing the motion is I'll take my glove, sometimes I use a tee, and just place it under my lead arm. For me, I'm right-handed, my left arm, about halfway down my arm, and I just hold it tight against my ribs. So that way, when I set up and I start making strokes, I just keep that glove under my arm. Now when a bad stroke is made, there'll be a disconnect here, and this glove will drop down. So if you stop your shoulders, your arm disconnects here, typically it's going to be a bad putt.
Okay, and John, you've also identified, I think, 5 putting tips for us that we'll be posting on our blog, on the Giants Ridge blog, and folks can take a look at those. When someone comes out to play a round of golf, I imagine most people typically head out to the driving range. Do people sort of tend to overlook the importance of time spent on the putting green before their round?
Yes, very much. When I was playing a lot, and you'll see this if you ever go out to a golf tournament and watch where the pros will practice, they'll spend really very little time hitting balls. They'll spend probably 3 to 4 times as much around the short game, hitting chips, putts, as opposed to just standing on the driving range hitting balls. And that's because, they know this is where you shave strokes off your game. This is where you're going to become a better player, lower your handicap.
And I would imagine too, with putting, golfers don't necessarily have to be out at the golf course. As long as they have their putter, they can practice in their living room or hallway, or even at home.
Yes, I mean, and checking yourself in the mirror about the angles with the plane and just making good strokes. You know, making sure you stay connected here in your lead shoulder, making sure that you keep your head down until the putter head stops moving, and just having everything be a one-piece move. It's just shoulders hinge, back and through. And that's something you can do in your office, at home, wherever you have a putter.
Well, John, thanks for taking a few minutes to share some tips with our golfers about their putting, and maybe we'll connect with you in a few weeks about another aspect of their game.
All right, sounds good.
Have a good day.
You too.